Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to look at Java 14, some of the new features there, or actually I'm going to take one feature at a time. But first of all, in order to actually try out these new features, you need the newest version of IntelliJ, and you actually need the early access version. So you need to press help right here, and then you need to look for the about menu item right here. Press that, and then you need to be sure that you actually got the 2020.1 EAP, and you will probably not have this because this is not the official release version at all. So you need to go to JetBrains website, and then you need to go to and look for the early access version. Then you need to download that one, and then you're good to go. Then you can play around with the Java 14 features, which I'm going to play around with right now. So that is step one. Get the 2020.1 early access version of IntelliJ. When you have done that, let me just press escape right here. When you've done that, then you need to have the Java 14 SDK. If you're using SDK man, then it's very easy. I'm using Greg right here, so I can just get a terminal right here. If you're using SDK man, then you write SDK, and then you write list, and then Java, and then you can get all. Then you look at all the versions of that you can get through SDK man, and there's a lot of versions right here, and the version that I'm using right now is the one right here, java.net 14 early access.36. This is the one that I'm using. This is the OpenJDK right here. And you get that version actually just by writing SDK space and then Java, and then you need to copy and paste this version right here. When you have that version, then you can set your project version in IntelliJ to the same. I'm going to press F4 now. So that means that after creating a new Java project, then you press F4, and then you're under your project, then you can create a new SDK right here, plus add a new SDK right here. We just want to choose an existing JDK right there. Then you go to your SDK man folder, and then you find, and that is located in the home, and then .SDK man. So it's hidden. You need to press the button up here, the little I, in order to see it. And then after that, then you can see, then you can see the hidden folder SDK man right there, and then you can go to candidates, Java, and then you just tick off 14, and then you press OK, and then you get a new JDK named 14. Another thing which is very important is that the project SDK has actually supports the new experimental features. That means that you can write. You need to choose 14 from this drop-down box right here at the programming level. Language level, and that is why you need the newest IntelliJ version, or else you will not be able to choose beyond 13. So you will not be if you cannot find 14 right here, then it's because your IntelliJ version is too old. You need the early access one instead. And I'm going to just write X for experimental features. That means that then I get as many features possible or in the pipeline, which are in the pipeline right now. So let me press OK right here, and let us jump right into it. I'm going to show you one feature right now. Let me just create a new class right here, and that is the type matching feature. And that means that if we have asked if this variable, if this is instance of something, then we do not need to cast it afterwards. That is the purpose of this new feature. Let me just create a new main method right here. Then I'll show you how it works. So that means that if I have a object equals to object O equals to my objects equals to, and then I'm setting this to a string. I can just set it to my name, like this. And now I want to use it as a string. But actually, let me just create a new method, because usually it's because we have a new method or a new context where we're using this object. So we have a public void use the object right here. So we have a new method right here, and this takes an object obj, and then in this method right here we are asking if obj instance of, and then string. This is the old-fashioned code that we're writing right now. Then we can then cast it to my string instead. My string equals then string, and then obj like this, and then I can system out this is my string, and then I can add my string like this, and then I can also I can execute to upper right now, so now it's in uppercase. So this is the old-fashioned code, but the new code, of course, I will need to call the function or the method from my main method up here. So that means I will run use the. I need to be static, of course. Sorry about that. Public static void. So use the object, and then I add my obj like this. And of course it works. If I run this code, it works fine. Everybody are very happy, and this is how we do it today, right? So this is my string, Mike Møller Nielsen, in uppercase right there. But that is an easier way if this feature goes into production with Java 14, and that is that we can actually match. We can actually create a new variable up here. So that means that I can actually say, if obj instance of string, and then I can actually give the name of my variable, and that could be I know it's a string like this, and then I can set my string to I know it's a string instead. So I know it's a string. That's just my variable name. I could also just name it str. It was just a bit more fun to name it, to call it this. So and I of course I do not need to now to use my string at all. I can just delete that, and then I can write I know it's a string like this. And now we just saved one line of code. That is pretty cool, right? Let me just show you another example. I'll create a new class. Let us do some object hierarchy, some class hierarchy. Let us create a flying object like this. This is a public abstract class. So we need to extend this abstract class, and then we have a. Then we can create a spaceship, which is one flying object, spaceship, and this spaceship has a method, public void. What should this be? Land on Mars, and then we system out something right here. We just landed on Mars like this. So that is the capability of our spaceship, and we need to extend flying object like this, and then we create another flying object, and that could be a bird, of course. Let's just call this bird like this. Bird, and this bird, it can it also has a method. It can say treat like this, and we should just about something right here. Treat, or in Danish it's going to say pip. This is Danish. It's a Danish bird. Oh, it's a multi-language language bird or what? Yeah. So it both knows the English tweet, and it can also say tweet in Danish. Pip pip right there. So now let us go back to our type matching class right here, and then instead of all this code right here, then we will actually instead of use the object, then we will say use the flying object. Use the flying object like this. And then we will have a flying object like this. Flying object. Yes. And I'll just delete all this code for now. And we will then create a new spaceship. Spaceship right here equals new spaceship. Like that. And we will also create a bird. Bird equals new bird. Right there. And of course, we want to use the flying object. And now we want to use our flying objects in this method, flying objects. And I'll use spaceship first. And then I want to use the bird also. So now we are using both of these flying objects. Oh, I forgot to extend the flying object over here. I'll just do that. Bird extends flying object like this. And we go back to our type matching class right here. So yeah, that's actually it. So now we need to write the code for this method down here. Then we will say if flying objects instance of bird, and then we can name this variable bird right here. Then something, something, something. Then we say bird.tweet, say tweet. Else if flying object, instance of spaceship. Oh, spaceship like this. And then we can name a new variable, or declare a new variable right here, spaceship, and then we can say spaceship and then do something with it. This is much more, it's much easier, it's much more readable code than with all that casting and all that. I think it's much better code. It looks much better. So, but let me know what you think, of course, as usual, in the comments. Let us just we need to get used to looking at code like this, that we actually declare a new variable when we ask instance of. Of course, if we can avoid in the first place to use instance of course that would be even better. But in some cases, we need to use instance of, and then it's very, very handy that we can declare the variable right away instead of casting in a new line afterwards. Let us just run the program just to see that the code actually runs. We just landed on Mars. Tweet, tweet, pip, pip. That's it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great evening. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Hope to see you again soon also. Bye-bye again.